Hello, my name is Steve and I'm with Graphic&Design. In this tutorial I'm going to show you how to create this dramatic kind of shade with the reflection using Affinity Designer. For this tutorial I'm using Affinity Designer 1.7.3. Before we start, I took the inspiration for this video from another video in YouTube from a channel, Blue Light TV Photoshop. Obviously they do it with Photoshop, so I thought, okay, let's try to see if I can recreate the same thing using Affinity Designer. And I found out myself using a little bit of different approach than the video, but you know, because it's Affinity Designer I'm used to and all the different features that you have, and when I was actually thinking about it, I came out with a little bit different way of doing it. So with that out of the way, I'm going to put the link to that video in the description down below. Okay, before we start, we need to create a new document. So like we always do, we go to the top, we go to File, New, and I have here my 1920 by 1080 300 dpi like I always do, but you can feel free to choose any kind of size that you want and leave all the rest as it is, and transparent background is ticked off. So we click OK, and now we have our new document. So like always, before we start, we go to our top bar, we go to View and make sure that you have selected Show Guides, Show Rulers, Show Context Toolbar, and Show Toolbar. Good, with that out of the way, let's get started. This one I'm going to start it a little bit the other way around. You know that I always start doing something in here and then at the end I put the background, but for this one I'm going to first put the background and then we will start. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to select my rectangle tool, coming to the top right, to the bottom left, so we create a rectangle the same size of our document, and I'm going to give it a black color for the moment, and I'm going to lock it so I can select it, I can do nothing there. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to select my artistic text tool. I'm going to click and drag to make something like that, and my first letter for the word that I'm going to use, that is Affinity, so I press A, and I'm going to change the color to white so I can see what I'm doing, and the font that I'm going to use is Avenir, but I'm going to use the black, that is a little bit more beefier. This will work with any kind of font that is beefier like this one, but it's sans serif. Don't use serif fonts. I already tried and doesn't look that really good. So any sans serif, beefier, you know, with a lot of meat will work perfect. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to select my transparency tool, and I'm going to click in the middle and drag, press and hold Shift so we move in one direction, and I'm going to move this one something a little bit in there. So what I'm going to do, and in this video what I'm doing is I'm using the transparency, you will see at the end why. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit and hold Alt, click and drag. So I'm going to move it somewhere there. I'm going to double click and I'm going to change for the F, that is my second letter, and I'm going to make sure that my transparency is actually from the border to the border of the letter. Okay, so you can use that one there. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to move it something in there. Perfect. So we need another F, so I'm going to click and drag, and more or less somewhere there where you see that the letter start fading away, you can put it there, and then I hold Alt, click and drag, and before I keep on going I'm going to choose the I for Affinity, I'm going to select my transparency tool, and I make sure that I'm moving it to there. Perfect. So now I need the N, so I'm going to click and drag. I'm going to double click this N for Affinity. Let's choose our tool, and I'm going to move it right there, and this one right there, more or less somewhere there. I think it's fine. So now I need another I, so I'm going to use this one. I'm going to click and drag it and put it somewhere there. And now I need a T, so I'm going to click and drag, holding Alt all the time, remember, for that. So I got the T there. Now let's select our transparency tool, hold Shift and move it to the end, and make sure that this one is there, and this one, the middle point, I'm going to move it a little bit. So I think there is fine. And now we need a Y, so I'm going to hold Alt, click and drag, release everything there, and Y. So let me see, let's move this one also. So we got that one there, and this one, it moves actually, I think there is fine. So we can see now that letter there, and I'm going to move this one a little bit there. Perfect. Now you can space these ones, you can give it some more spacing, you can work a little bit more these ones to your taste, if you want to put it like that, what you think is better. I'm going to move it like that, and now I'm just only looking at how much one overlap the other one. Now I'm going to click and drag, and I'm going to my alignment tool, and I'm going to make sure that I got last selected, and I put them all in the middle. Now that I got those ones, I'm going to group them, and now there is a group. We can put it somewhere there. I can make it a little bit bigger if you want. Perfect. Good. Now that we have this, we need to do the reflection, and this is also something that I did a little bit different. I'm going to hit and hold Alt, click and drag to make a copy, release everything. Now on the transform toolbar here at the top, I'm going to select the flip vertical, so we have an image like this, and I'm going to align it with the other one, make sure that it's perfectly aligned. There we go. That is fine. Actually, that small black line that you see there, if you click in there and you move it like a 1 pixel or something like that, and you give it some distance, it makes it more, gives a little bit of more dramatic feel. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to now, with that selected, select my transparency tool in the middle, from top down. Remember to hold Shift so you move it perfectly straight, and I'm going to give it something like that so it fades a little bit there. The other thing that I'm going to do with this one, I'm going to give it a little bit of Gaussian blur, so we can, not too much, just a little bit. I think it's something like that, 9 or 1 pixel. I think a 1 pixel is too much already. No, I think a 1 pixel is okay. Other thing that you can do if you want, I haven't tried, but you can give it some, you can shift it a little bit, something like this, or not. I prefer it like that. Perfect. So I'm going to click and drag and select everything, and I'm going to create a group, so I can move this one. Let's put it right in the middle of the page, and let me see, last there. Perfect. Now they are right in the middle, because I give it transparency. If I click in there on my color and I change the actual color of my background, for example, something like that, now you see it's blending perfectly with the actual background. Fantastic. That's it for this video. I hope that you like it. If you did, please remember to give the thumbs up, subscribe, leave any comment in the section down below, and anyway, thank you very much for watching, and like always, I'm seeing you in the next video.